We're now going to talk about our least favorite days on this bike ride in 2021, the Mega Manitoba movie.
Well, what I would have to say our worst day was, history keeps on repeating itself, is the first day. I had two favorite parts of that entire day. The first one was passing my friend's Braden place, and I made a face like this. That's an inside joke that we have. Hey, Braden! And my second favorite part of that day is when we finally stopped. Rather than that, we had to trek through this gravel that was totally loose. It was absolutely ridiculous biking through. It was 30K of that, and it was so difficult that I was in the highest gear the entire time.
You didn't tell me that.
We went through the gravel, and you could see it that we were making a trail through this gravel. You guys need to go out and try that because it is so difficult. It's not even funny, and you don't want to stop because once you stop, it's hard to get going again. So that was very difficult.
Right from pavement to 30K of this.
And the wind is against us.
There we are. Gravel it is. On the gravel, and it's like biking through dust. Yeah, it's brutal. All right, so I don't know, we got probably maybe 20K more to go on this gravel. It's just recently graded and it's like going through sand. It's bad. The municipality, I think, just graded the gravel.
Yeah.
And it was like powder, like sand. It had not rained all year. We experienced one of the worst droughts in Manitoba that we've ever experienced in our history. And the gravel was like biking through sand.
Yeah.
It was extremely difficult.
And another problem is like we left at 5 during that day. Well, I had worked myself up and I was very anxious that day too. And by the end of it, I was so tired that I had to walk my bike up like this tiny hill when I was able to bike up a mountain next day because I was just so tired. Finally made it. Finally. We go down here, right?
Yep. That's what the sign says. 1 kilometer north.
And another terrible thing that happened, we got 0 hours of sleep that night because it just poured rain and we got washed out that day. It was absurd what happened to us the first day. Totally washed out. We were honestly almost thinking of going back home because it was that bad.
Well, the maintenance man from the municipality came to clean up all the garbages and look at the aftermath at the campground that we stayed at in Big Valley. And he said that I think in an hour it had rained 7 inches.
Yep.
With hail. We suffered through that, and I actually have a new respect for our tent. You'll see on the video here, I'll pause it, and you'll see our tent literally was like a waterbed where we were floating in 3-4 inches of water.
Yep.
It had just poured. I've never actually seen it rain harder than that.
Yeah. It was extremely, extremely bad. As you can see, or hear clearly, it's raining. It's maybe 5:40 right now in the morning. We're gonna have to wait this out, clearly, because we can't be biking in the rain, so yeah, I think we're just gonna have to camp out here for a little bit and see what happens.
We got a downpour. We got like 6 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Because nothing absorbed, this is bad. Wow, we're gonna have to wait it out. Okay, almost 6 in the morning. We are like literally flooded out, like 3 inches of water. It must have poured like big time. Look at this. We're literally in we're literally on top of 3 inches of water.
We're here at Big Valley and we totally got washed out from the road. Our tent is just a mess. The water has risen quite substantially since last night because of all the rain. We probably got about 6 inches of rain.
We're just trying to dry out our stuff. It's around 1:30, and I think we're gonna go on to Erickson.
Yeah, we were thinking about maybe going back to Plumas because of the rain. There's gonna be rain more than likely, but it's only gonna be like 3 millimeters at the most. And I think, like for us, like worst case scenario, we'll just like rent a hotel room and do that. But I think we're gonna stay at the campground, and then the next day we'll try and make it to Clear Lake. We just gotta see what the night brings and go from there.
On the good side, our tent held up and our sleeping mats held up. We were not soaking wet inside the tent. We were actually quite dry.
We were dry. So, and luckily the hail didn't damage our tent. That was another good thing.
Yeah, I think what helped is that we were sort of under those trees.
Yeah.
We were sort of in a corner where the valley comes in.
Yeah.
Right. I think that really helped, and there was sort of we were sheltered under those trees.
Yeah.
And I think had we simply been in the open at one of the other campsites, we would have sustained, I think, a lot of damage.
Yep.
The tent was right there. You can see that it was literally in a torrential downpour. All the water came down here and pooled in at the tent, and then it went all the way into this big lake here, basically. Yeah, that was it was a very difficult day, although I think our whole bike ride, it took us probably, 4 or 5 hours to get there?
Yeah, for like a 50-kilometer bike ride, it took far too long. It was like we could do that in a couple hours now. But if you're biking on gravel like that, on sand like that, it won't work. So it was really bad that day.
Right, yeah, and that was the first day. Always something to go wrong the first day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who watched the Mega Manitoba movie. Thank you to all who subscribed, liked, and shared our episodes. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button for more videos in the future.
Any other thoughts on your worst day?
Nah, that was the worst one.
What's with the tongue thing with Braden?
It's just an inside joke that we have.
Well, what is it?
It's an inside joke. You're not supposed to know.
Okay, fair enough. So it's an inside joke. Very good. And what was the other thing that you said you liked that day?
Stopping. So
Like stopping.
to go to bed was nice.